Hello and welcome to the CFS Health Recovery Podcast. I am your host, Toby Morrison, and in today's video, we talk about the subject, is chronic fatigue syndrome really real? For those of you who are suffering this at home, this is going to be very, very helpful. For those of you who have no idea what chronic fatigue syndrome is, this will be really helpful too. You're going to learn, is chronic fatigue syndrome really real? And you're also going to learn about how to support yourself with what you're going through versus making it harder unnecessarily than it has to be. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Hey guys, it's Toby Morrison here, and in today's video I want to talk about illness identity. And this is a very powerful conversation. I'm going to share with you a personal story that I went through this actual problem that was actually hugely holding me back in my recovery, which I had no idea about until I looked back on the lessons. And so I want to share this with you because you might be in a similar position and it might be really holding you back. I just want to say two things though before we get into it. One, if you're in this situation right now, it's not your fault. It's a very tricky situation. And in a way, the system has let you down. You know, it's not your fault that the medical system hasn't been able to support you in the practical ways that you most likely need. And, you know, what you're going through is 100% real. You're not making this up. It's not in your head. You're not pretending anything. And, you know, it's kind of sad because even today, when I go out and I meet new people, they say, what do you do? And we say, well, we help people really who are suffering with chronic illness start living again. We help people get healthy. And they say, oh, isn't chronic illness and like chronic fatigue syndrome, isn't that a mindset thing? And it's like, well, no, it's a very physical, neurological illness, but it affects people emotionally. And I say, well, imagine if you couldn't live the life that you're living right now and you weren't able to do that anymore. Would you be pretty upset? And the answer is yes. And I go, well, then, you know, there you go. It's a secondary thing. It's not a first-hand thing. And so I just wanted to share that with you before we get into today's video because, yeah, it's tough, right? What you're going through is extremely tough. Now, what I went through, my story is that, you know, I got sick, I got glandular fever, I was overtraining, I was pushing myself, I wasn't doing the right things, and I got worse and worse and worse. And then, you know, weeks led to months, months led to years, and, you know, I got really debilitated. I was extremely sick, my body shut down. And, you know, we went from doctor to doctor, we had hundreds of blood tests, and eventually after I think it was like a year and a half, I was finally diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. And on one hand, I felt total relief, like, oh my God, finally we have an answer. And then within minutes, I felt total despair because I said, great, you know, I was very proactive. I said, doctor, well, what do I do now? And he said, well, there's not much you can do. And I remember just feeling so much despair. And I was 16, right? So I was still at school and I was pretty unwell. So I missed about 246 days of school in a row. I won an award for the most days off school, which, you know, I kind of laughed at, you know, luckily I didn't take it too sensitively. But a crazy thing happened. As I was getting better, and there's a backstory to CFS Health, the reason why we do what we do is because I didn't want to let anyone else have to go through what I went through on my own. And so the reason why CFS Health exists is purely for that, to give you practical help, to help you start getting healthy again, and to help you start living again. But, you know, as I started to get better, I started to go back to school part-time. And, you know, when I mean back to school, I mean like 1 hour a day or 1 hour every second day, because that was my current capacity, that was in my baseline. Now, those days I went to school, I felt an immense amount of pressure to explain my situation to everybody. I felt judged, I felt a lot of shame, and I wasn't the healthy person that most people knew of me to be. And so you could tell that I wasn't that well physically. And I remember going to school those days and people would ask me how I was. And I would tell them, you know, I'm not great. Things are so hard. Like, there's no cure for this. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm feeling shit today. And I would just constantly recycle and, rehearse how bad I was feeling. But I felt like I had to. I felt like I needed to let them know the reasons why I wasn't the way I was. And a crazy thing happened. One of my teachers, Georgia Pavlo, big shout out to Mrs. Pavlo, she said to me one day, she said, "Toby, attitude makes altitude. And you really do need to, keep focusing on a good attitude." She was so nice though. She was the loveliest teacher. And then another teacher said to me, you got to work on visualization and positive thinking and all that kind of stuff. And at the time, I didn't really understand what they were talking about. And by the way, I'm not saying that positive thinking will cure you, but I think positive thinking actually isn't helpful at all. Pretending that you're fine when you're not fine isn't good, but there is something about mental rehearsal that can be so powerful, and you're going to learn exactly why in a moment. So, like I said, I was going to school on those days. I was feeling like I had to really, explain my situation and share how bad I was feeling. And of course, that didn't feel good. I felt the same, if not worse, every time I did it. There's like this heaviness to it. Anyway, at the time I was working on my recovery, I was very dedicated, I was very committed, and I was reading personal development books. And one of the things I learned was about mental rehearsal. What we focus on grows, so to speak. And so, strangely enough, I remember going to school the next week, and I remember, because everyone would ask how you are, because you'd barely be there, right? So when you are there, they're like, "How are you? Like, what's going on?" And this time I felt different. I walked into school and this kid came up to me and goes, "How you feeling, Tobes? Are you feeling good?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I'm getting there. I'm working on my recovery, and slowly but surely I'll get there." And that was it. No explaining, no shame, no guilt. Just I'm working on my recovery and I'm slowly getting there. And what happened was there was just a sense of lightness. It wasn't so drudgy and heavy. The craziest thing over the next couple of months, I just kept doing the same thing. And so my energy and attention focused way less on my suffering and how bad I was and how I was feeling in the moment, to really projecting towards the future and what I was moving towards. And that really freed up a lot of energy. But one massive interesting thing happened. When high school finished, that was my last year, something crazy happened. I stopped going to school, obviously. There was no classes. But that meant that 200 people a day wouldn't ask me how I was. And what happened was it created space for me to think about now and the future in a more positive tense. It created space for me to not mentally rehearse how I was feeling in the moment versus what I can focus on to move me forwards. And another crazy thing happened. I remember my mum and dad, they're so caring and supportive, and they would be almost over caring. "Are you okay? Do you need anything? Like, how are you?" And every maybe couple of hours it was like, "How are you feeling? Like, you all right?" And it maybe was like, 3 or 4 times a day, right? But I realized after understanding this power of mental rehearsal that this wasn't actually helping me. To keep asking me how I am was the presupposition, the thought that I wasn't okay in the first place. That's why you would constantly ask me, "Are you okay?" And so it's already supposing that things aren't good. Yeah, obviously they weren't great, but I also knew that that conversation wasn't actually helping me move forwards. So I actually sat down with my dad. I said, "Dad, from now on, is it okay that you just don't ask me how I am all the time? It actually kind of frustrates me and, kind of makes me upset. And I think it might be more beneficial if you don't ask me how I am and I can just reach out to you if I need help. Is that cool?" And he totally understood. He was like, "Yeah, that's fine, of course." And again, what was amazing was it went from this gap of focusing on the now and how bad it was to opening up the space to realize, well, I can focus on what I want and keep moving towards what I want. And the power of mental rehearsal, it wasn't that actually helped me get better. It was that which enabled the behavior to go and do what I need to do to get better, if that makes sense. Okay? It was the combination of the two. And so you might be right now thinking, and I'm going to show you on the whiteboard in a second, below the line thinking or above the line thinking. And you might be very self-identified with your illness. In fact, like I said, there's a lot of shame and you feel like you need to make excuses all the time. I felt like that all the time. And it was exhausting, but it wasn't helpful. Even though I felt like I had to do it, it wasn't helpful for my recovery. It kept me stuck for a long time. And so if you're someone right now who's really self-identified with your illness, my invitation to you is, do you want to keep doing that? Or would you like to do something different? Because I'm telling you, I could have stayed like that for years. And if I stayed like that and mentally rehearsed like that for years, I would have done the same behaviors, which would have made me stay in the place that I was. Instead, when I shift the focus and shifted my mental rehearsal to what I wanted and what I was moving forwards to, it created the space, the actions, the behaviors that helped me move forwards towards that too. Okay? And so I want to share with you on my screen right now, you'll see this above the line, below the line model, which was actually part of our in-house retreats that we held for our members recently. And let's say that, illness identified Toby was, I'm struggling. It was, you'll relate to this one. Hands up if you said that. It's not fair. Another one was, why me? Again, just kind of saying statements like, there's no cure. You can see how all these are quite sticky, stuck situations and not really that helpful either. I feel like shit. Excuse the French, but you know what I'm saying? Like how many times have you said this to people? And I'm not saying to pretend you're fine, but what would it be like if we changed the focus and we started really having a different conversation? Like I'm working on it. And you obviously need to be able to say this if you are working on it. You can't lie. Like if you say you're working on your recovery and you're doing nothing for it, well then that's not being honest. But you can see here we're in the green. Above the line thinking is above the line. It's helping us move towards what we want, slowly but surely. And again, you can just use these statements if you like to help you. I am getting better. And you could add, I'm getting better at my own pace. I'm seeking support. I'm recovery focused. And so you can see the difference here. If there was a conversation to be had, the green feels a lot better. The green moves you more towards what you want, and the red really just keeps you stuck. And I just see it so often online. People just so stuck in the identity of the illness. And I just want to say this, you are not your illness. You are not. You are not your illness. And the more you stay down here in the red zone, it is going to keep you stuck for longer. And I understand, like I said before, the system in a way has let you down. It certainly hasn't helped your situation. So it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you've been there and you might be there right now. It's okay, all right? But what would it look like and how would it feel for you if we got you to above the line thinking? Imagine, again, you start small, you don't start big. I'm working on it. Slowly but surely. I am getting better. You could even say, I'm noticing subtle improvements. It's not huge, but little by little becomes a lot, right? That's one of our sayings inside our program. I'm seeking support. How many times do you get someone saying, my friend took this pill and they got better, so you should take it too. Or you should try this program because my friend just got cured overnight, right? How many times do you have that? And it's like, oh my God. And it's almost offensive when they start saying that. So you could literally, a counteractive comment could be, that's okay, thanks so much, but I'm already seeking some support. Inside our program, we say to our members, we have a way to state where you're at in an empowering way for you and the other person. And so we say, hey, thanks so much for caring. I'm actually in a recovery program right now and I'm working on my recovery and I'm, doing all the right things to support myself. So thanks anyway, it's all good. And, that way it's kind of nice. It doesn't feel like you're being an asshole, and you can kind of set a boundary without having it to be awkward. And, you can say you're really recovery focused, and really you are. Like, if you're watching this video right now, you are recovery focused. But and if you do have a bad day, you could say, I'm not feeling that good today, but it's okay. Not every day is the same, and still focusing on my recovery regardless. And so you can see here that above the line thinking is a lot stronger, more better. It's going to take you to places that you want to go versus the red zone where we're really below the line and we're really illness identified. And like I said before, the more you talk about it, the more it's repeated, the more of the same problems are going to come. And so we see a huge difference in our clients when they start with us to where they are after 6 to 12 months inside our program, because they're not the same people. Their thinking is different, their questions are different. At the start, they might be asking like, well, how do I fix this symptom and how do I do this? They're very symptom focused. To 6 to 12 months, they're saying, what's my pathway look like to, reaching my goals with my work again? Or, how do I improve and expand my current capacity within my baseline? Or how do I navigate part-time work or part-time study? Or how do I navigate new relationships? And so the conversation gets bigger. How can I expand my physical capacity now? It's not focusing on what was, it's focusing on what is and what I want in the forwards future. So I hope this video helps. Again, if you're there right now, it's okay. This is a perfect time to learn and potentially apply some of these teaching. I'd love you to apply it for like 2 to 3 weeks and just try it on. Try the above the line thinking on. Try the language on. Try the mental rehearsal on. Have the conversation with your spouse, your partner. If you're talking about all the problems all the time, do you think there's any space for anything else to come in and for you to change and try? So my hope for you in this video is that really this is going to be a powerful experience for you, and a really powerful change and transformation to help you go from the red into the green zone so you can expand your capacity, move forwards. Of course, we have some really great trainings for you to go through, which are free resources. So we'll leave some links below. And, slow but steady wins the race, So try it on if you're not doing it already. I know some of you are probably already in the green zone and you've already done this and you're going, yeah, that was me, and now I'm so different and life's so much better. So hope this video helps. And remember, a holistic approach is needed. This is just one tiny aspect, but you could be eating all the right foods. You'd be drinking all the smoothies you like and doing all this great stuff, but if you're coming from a place of stuck illness identity, you can see how it's really not moving you forwards and helpful. And this goes for taking supplements too. This goes for your nutrition, resting, even how you go about your day-to-day activities. Is it coming from a place of, I've got to take this because I'm sick, to I want to be healthy and I want to improve and expand my life. And from that place, it might feel a lot better. Anyway, there's a lot. This is just a short video, and so we have like 2-hour trainings on this kind of stuff broken into shorter videos to help you navigate this. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful, and we'll speak to you soon. Hey, I hope this video was really helpful for you. If you haven't already, please hit the like button and feel free to leave a comment. What was your takeaway, your insight from today's video? It's really helpful to actually write your learnings down. We seem to embed it better and it seems to help us move forwards with life. Here are 3 ways we can help you right now whenever you're ready. The first way is make sure you add yourself into our free information recovery group on Facebook. We'll leave a link in the description below. It's a really supportive, encouraging place. There's no negative venting. You can ask questions to other people. There's something like 8,000 people in there right now. And I'm sure by the time you're watching this video, there's even more. So go over there right now. We share success stories. We share our latest free trainings that come to the public. And we always share upcoming information about upgrades inside our program. And also when we offer free webinars or free information nights that can further help you with your own recovery. The second way we can help you, which is one of my favorite, is through all our free trainings. We're going to leave a link in the description with our favorite free trainings that we know can help you start your recovery, whether that's through our baseline training, which will help you stop pushing and crashing, our 3 stages of recovery to figure out exactly where you're at and know what to do next, or my favorite, which is our guest panel workshop, which was actually exclusive for our members. It was so damn good that I actually asked them, can we share this to the public? They all said yes, all 5 of them. So thank you, past members. They share their 5 recovery secrets, and it's really powerful. There's tears, there's aha moments, there's real key insight and inspiration. And so whether you're a 1 out of 10 and you're really struggling right now, or whether you're further along in your recovery journey and you're integrating back into life, we have you covered. The third way we can help you is through our actual paid online recovery program, the Mentorship Recovery Program. And if you are interested in getting proper help, a holistic comprehensive plan, professional coaching from the best coaches in the world, whether that's with mindset, movement, nutrition, restorative movement, reconditioning, integrating back into life, integrative medicine, baseline, structure, routine, accountability, all things health and life, feel free to apply for the program today. All you need to do is click on the form, cfshealth.com/form, fill out the short 2 to 3 minute form application, and the team will be in touch with all the details that you need to know about the program via email. So make sure you check your spam folder for all the free trainings. If you've sent through an application, please be patient. My team are real people, okay? They're not robots. So if we don't get back to you within seconds or hours, it's okay. We will get back to you. If you don't hear from the team within 2 to 3 days, that means that it's basically gone to spam or junk and it's gone missing. So please send a follow-up email to the team at info@cfshealth.com. If you have any questions, go check it out. But I would highly recommend adding yourself into the free group right now. Go click on that link in the description. Go download all the free trainings. Honestly, the whole reason why this whole thing started is because when I went through this myself, it was so painful and so excruciating that I didn't want anyone else to have to go through it. And some of these free trainings are so damn valuable. Back then, I would have paid thousands of dollars for. We've had so many comments and emails and posts saying, oh my God, the baseline training was a game changer for me. Toby, I've been doing this now for 3 months and I'm feeling so much better. My symptoms are decreasing. I've got more stamina. I've got more energy. I'm able to do more things. So, whether you're learning from us and consuming our content through our free format, I'm so stoked. Whether that's in our paid program, I don't really care. Either way, all I want to make sure is that you are moving forwards. You are starting to really implement this work. And that's really what it's all about. Once we implement, we make change and we start to move forwards. Sending you a ton of love. Of course, feel free to consume as much of the YouTube videos as you like. There's so many really, really great ones, new and old. Sending you a ton of love and speak to you very, very soon. All the best for now.